Hello. Welcome back to my huge channel, everybody. We are here in this current time lapse, imposed with the task of finding our true style. If you're not yet the lucky child of having figured out in your adolescence why you actually don't need to be the pretty girl or the pretty boy in a Brunelli Fighidelli look, I'm here to help you out. When talking about style, we talk so much about aesthetics that we forget what it's actually about. The fit. Not the quality, not the colors. Have you ever had a sweater that you really loved for the quality, even though the crew neck was too tight while it was also being too long? Is this ever possible that you like something because it has an amazing fabric, amazing quality, but the fit is terrible? It's not possible. You can bear with bad quality for once if the fit is amazing, but you cannot bear with a bad fit. And we're talking about one specific fit today. It's going to be the oversized fit. And concerning bad fits, I think Bottega Veneta's wife beater tank top is an amazing example of how you can create amazing quality and just look ridiculous in it. So the question of the day is, why do we like oversized again, even though Gucci, Bottega and every other luxury brand in the world is predicting right now that we should do the exact opposite? What they kind of predict and want is that we have fabrics closer to our skin cells and less air in between clothes and our skin. We don't want that. We fought hard for this right to wear oversized. We don't want that. We're not going to do that. We fought so hard to gain something like oversized. We're not giving it up so easily. We're not giving up on oversized. Oversized is the best cut and form overall. No matter what, yes, but not no matter how. And we need to figure out today how we do the how. What's the best oversized fit for you? And why don't you feel so comfortable when you wear oversized? This is a question I hear super often from my friends, from subscribers, like yes, this piece looks interesting to wear, but it doesn't look great on me. The two main reasons I usually hear concerning physical criteria is I'm not tall enough, I'm not skinny enough. And this is nonsense. There doesn't exist something like that. But you need to change something in your head first. So overall, we are all pretty much aligned of the rule form follows function. Although fashion loves to see itself as a burden in order to ultimately be able to enjoy it, if it's not painful, is it fashion? Is it extreme enough if it's just plain comfortable? There's no such thing as a comfortable revolution, so evolution and change needs to be kind of painful always, which would mean we would have to feel uncomfortable to find pure, true style and grow into it. French physician Marcel Duchamp was the first scientist ever that coined the term growing pain in 1823. Until this day, it's being disputed if growing pain can be considered as real pain. And everybody that has felt that, not even if it's physical pain, but growing in all manners is painful. And in other words, the rest of the medical world is just assuming that we all cry babies and we never want anything to change. And you know what? That's slightly true. We prefer to stay in the fits that we're used to and that we like. And we hate any other form of fit. Oversized clothing will forever, once you enter in the world of it, stay your physical form of Rob and dog and cat videos on Instagram. The amount of coziness is impeccable and you will never want to go back again. But once you made it to this step, it's okay. You have grown into oversize. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you haven't done that yet. Super happy about every new human being joining this band. I will leave the links down below to my Discord chat, which is about personal, general, crazy archive stuff that I love to spend time on. So my Discord is also down below, and my Instagram and TikTok and whatever. I'm everywhere. So let's start with the first thing, which is what is usually being done wrong. First of all, we need to kill all kind of phrases that start with this makes me look wide, this makes me look small, this makes me look tiny. We kill all of these phrases, all of them now. And yes, there's something called proportion and there is something called the golden ratio, but we need to chill a bit first. We need to chill a bit because the guy that invented the golden ratio is also just a mathematician. I don't know how much you knew about style. So first of all, And before any kind of styling change or anything in your life, this is actually something that might probably take you years, but you need to learn to love yourself and love your body. And you need to be able to take this physical image that you have in your mind, take it away from what you see on the internet, on TV and everything, and from what you grew up with all the perfect bodies and how it's supposed to look like. Like, we need to kill everything. We need to delete everything in our memory that makes us think a certain body type is the correct body type. It doesn't exist. There's just no such thing, you know, like everybody's face looks different. How can we say a certain face type is the most beautiful one when every single person in the world looks different? Like, this doesn't make any sense. And figuring out you by yourself as something special in your own universe is enough. Sorry for this disclaimer, but it was necessary because I figured out that this comes back again, the topic. I thought we were over self-love and stuff, but still not, and I think it's worse than ever. So be cool with your body, love your body, be nice to your body. Your body is nice to you all the time, no matter what dumb stuff you do. It wakes you up every morning again. It could just stop doing that, you know? It could just say like, you know what, I'm gonna let him sleep. He doesn't do that. He just continues to make you breathe and stuff. So it's amazing. Love it. Okay? So that's a little premise we need to have. So now that you're uber in love with the genetical output of your parents that gifted you arms longer than your legs, let's start. So if you're trying to figure out what kind of oversized person you are, there are actually just 2 points you need to be careful about. The first one is proportions, and the second one is the aesthetic. Because that also plays a role in what kind of proportions you like. They play together. And if you figure it out, that's my aesthetic, you will also automatically know that's my kind of proportion when I wanted to create oversized clothing. And there are mainly like 3 kinds of oversized clothing that you can have, like in 3 extreme directions. The first one is a very strongly Gen Z inspired, retro brands, 2000s inspired, hip hop, R&B music inspired oversized clothing. The second one is a very avant-garde version of cubistic forms surrounding your body and making you look like you're going to roll around or just hang around town and just look very edgy and avant-garde because you like vintage archive Japanese fashion. And the third form is probably the one that is the most common right now, which is the most sophisticated, elegant, straighter, a bit more minimal, even in terms of oversized clothing, form of the sophisticated fashion girly or boy-y. So what you overall want in this silhouette of oversized form is you want the silhouette itself to be in focus, not your body. Your body is just there to hold up the silhouette, but in no manner is required to perform and show itself. Wide fits are something like a blanket, and even if nobody wants to admit it, you can hide in it. You can distract from yourself in it and pretend you're someone else. Because nobody knows where that waistline is. Like, nobody knows. It's amazing. I just love it. Nobody knows what your body looks like. Like, this is something very interesting also. Like, people need to figure out, need to think what this person might look like underneath the clothes as well, which is very interesting to me. I think it's interesting. I actually think it's a pretty funny game because I can play with physical features that I actually do not even own. Like, I love bulky and huge fabrics and heavy fabrics because I'm not a super tall woman and I like to appear a bit taller. I like to appear a bit wider than I am. And suddenly, with the help of certain fabrics and certain cuts, I can create an illusion around my body that is not real. And people figure out your character even due to the way that you dress. So never forget that your style, especially when it comes to oversized clothing as well, is always a reflection of your personality. So we have the 3 different kind of aesthetics, which all focus on a different form of white clothing. We have the Y2K inspired oversize, which is playing with contrasts. We have the avant-garde oversize, which is playing with forms. And we have the elegant oversize, which is playing around the body mainly. So let's start with the Y2K inspired, low waist, boot cut, jean inspired oversized clothing. What is interesting here is actually that not much has changed in the last 20 years since this kind of style evolved, because it's a big contrast of volume and extreme tightness that the people like to play with. You have, for instance, extremely baggy, I don't know, Evisu, True Religion, whatever brand that was hyped back then, a jean that is like so big on you that you will definitely need to hold it up with a belt. You have a super skin tight shirt on top, you know, like a baby tee, also on men's and women's, it's the same style. But then again, you have like an extremely oversized hoodie with a huge hood that is just like saggy and comes down to your knees, and you have like big bulky shoes. Like in the Y2K aesthetic, it's mainly playing with the contrast. So if that's your kind of aesthetic that you want to create, what creates attention is the look is definitely the play with different sizes and formats of the pieces. Like ridiculously small handbags combined with a huge hoodie. You know, it needs to be kind of funny actually. Like what the Y2K oversized look is you're always smirking next to it, you know, like it's not bad. I'm not saying like Y2K style is horrible. I mean, what my personal preference is not important in this video. Important is what your preference is. If that is your preferred look, you should definitely look that you thrift some jeans, some pants that are way too big for you, probably 3 or 4 sizes too big. Anything that makes this play of oversized with tiny interesting and contrasting. For the women, for example, what they love is usually like super tiny, long, spiky boots, which are also, again, a very interesting imbalance with the big wide pants to have like these very tight-fitting, sock-like, pointy boots that are super popular. If you would do everything oversized in this look, which is also acceptable and existent, it's just less interesting and probably looks a bit more like just baggy, and it's not a big difference if you wear a sweatsuit or just this. But this kind of aesthetic is playing with the imbalances of the different sizes of clothing that you wear, whereas the big sizes are always in the main focus. Coming to the second big part of oversized clothing, where I think personally experienced oversized clothing the very first when I got into fashion, was Japanese oversized clothing. And to this day, I'm a big fan of it. I never dress in that way, but I'm deeply inspired by the shapes of it. Because the avant-garde form of oversized clothing, and in avant-garde, I know it's a huge field. It's a huge field that goes, of course, also into the direction of not oversized clothing. But I mean like the brands that do care about oversized clothing. For instance, if you look at the collection of Yohji Yamamoto, which is probably the most commercial avant-garde designer, because so easily accessible everywhere. But if you look at his pleated pants, it's usually a play with the form, because it's not just straight baggy, it's usually a curved form. So you have something that is like stacking up at the end. If you look at the long sleeves, you very often see overly extended long arms as well. The sweatshirt overall doesn't have to fit extremely oversized, but you see that something is extended, like something is avant-garde and extreme and atypical to the usual form, to what is considered necessary actually in terms of a long sleeve, which is supposed to end probably here. But then you have, I mean, I saw J.W. Anderson had it also in his latest collections, like uber long arms. And I know Victor and Rolf also did that like in 2004. So it was a trend back then as well, which is more like an artistic feature than oversized clothing. But oversized doesn't only mean it needs to be bulky and huge. It can also be like the extension of something, which is just overly extended. So if you look at the more Japanese-inspired forms that we also see at a lot of European brands now, for example, Le Maire, who have like their curved pants that are very popular, it's not oversized in the terms of it is oversized on my butt, you know, that it's falling down, but it's oversized around your shapes. And again, you create an illusion around your form and your body that is not physically your body. It looks different. So I love it because you can play with different forms without even exposing your body. I mean, here is, for example, if you don't feel comfortable with like very skinny clothes, and if you don't feel comfortable with oversized clothes as well, you need to really check some brands. You can write me in the DMs if you want, if you need some help. But there are many pieces of oversized clothing that fit like they're fitted, you know, for example, like these Le Maire pants. They have a waist, you know, you feel comfortable, but they create a different shape around your legs. And even if you're not the longest person, you can get it tailored. I almost get all my pants tailored, and I almost have to tailor all my coats because I do buy them 2 or 3 sizes bigger, and I tailor them at the arm. So the tailor will unfortunately be your best friend. Not unfortunately, they're cool people, by the way. I never had a horrible tailor. They're always super cool people. You need to find someone that makes a decent price possible for good pieces, and you need to trust them, as of course, because usually I know you have good stuff at your home, so be careful with that. So when it comes to I call it avant-garde. I know people will hate me that are truly fans of avant-garde fashion, but it's just easier to describe the form as well. You need to figure out what proportion you want to create. So you need to create a balance on your body a bit. So for example, this sweater I have, it's by the way a RA sweater, and I'm super sad they're not bringing it out anymore. It's oversized in all manners, and they call this a size small. Everybody that wanted to try it on felt like it's too big on them, but it's not, you know, like you can do this. You need to learn to play with fabrics. Don't be scared of fabrics, you know, or the axis of fabrics. Like it's okay to do this. It is something organic, and learn to play with these kind of extreme amount of fabric around your body, and believe me, you will feel even more comfortable after a while, and will be harder for you to get back to normal dressing. But if you have this sweater, for example, and slightly shorter, you go with a pant that is maybe slightly longer, creates a different form, a form that starts a bit more skinny but then goes wide, you know, like, I don't know, the totem pants, the barrel pants are also a good form of oversize that doesn't start at your butt. You don't have to start with oversize, meaning it needs to fit like a jogger pants. It doesn't have to. It can create the oversize effect on your knee, on your feet, like, I don't know, somewhere else. These are all things that are important if you style a look, because this is the way you can create excitement. I would really go from top to bottom. Like if you want to carry a handbag, it should probably reflect more the look that you have. So maybe something a bit more slutchy, you know, like a slutchy clutch or a bag, or you know, these leather bags that are everywhere, that are like that Margiela bring out back then, and Comme des Garçons has it as well, and everybody. But you can also take like something very ridiculous, like super sharp look. These are all things how you can create some excitement around the look. There's so many options where you can create excitement while having an oversized look and still look decent, you know? Because I feel like oversized look is just for a lot of people a messy look, not caring about how you look like, and you just like it cozy. You're not hiding behind it. You're playing with the forms that you have. In the third form, which is the more sophisticated, elegant, probably more classic approach of oversized clothing, you also do it in a bit more subtle way. You don't go that extreme. So you usually don't go extreme with like 4 sizes bigger, because you don't play so much on forms, but more on your body. It is a bit more like the elegant approach on surrounding your body with the biggest amount of cloth without looking like it is obviously an oversized look. And the best version for this is to buy wool pants. And wool pants have a million different forms. And you go for, let's say, an oversized form that is a bit more straight-legged, maybe slightly wider cut, and that's it. And you buy a sweater that is like 2 sizes bigger, 1 size bigger. You can tuck it in. You can create still this interesting silhouette. And believe me, and I hate to use this word, but it will look richer in fabrics. You have a bigger amount of fabrics, you have more valuable fabrics. So you need to spend a bit for a good wool pant. You will not get a good version at Zara. I tell you already, I know that the lookbooks look similar, I know that the design looks similar because it's of course copied. From my experience of buying good wool for the last 10 years, there's no good cheap option. And I also check Uniqlo and everything, so I also try to make a bargain sometimes, but I just figured it's not possible. Like, it's really not possible. And I also figured the amount and time I spend on finding a good piece, it always pays off if it's a good fitting one. So if you want to have the more elegant oversized approach, what you can do perfectly here is, for example, focus on your coat to be more oversized than your clothes. The clothes are, as I said, 1 or 2 sizes big is not too big on oversized clothing. You have your proportions straight. You can be a bit more like, I think in an elegant look, it's very typical to have like a very short torso. So if you have a short torso, it's perfect. And if you don't have one, you just pretend you have one, because you buy high-waisted pants that are like tucked very high. You have a belt. I think a belt is a trend that I like currently. I just figured that all my good wool pants don't even have space for belts. I don't have a belt also. Do you have any belt that you can recommend, by the way? I feel like men's have amazing ones and women's are always like with like accessories and weird leather and the clip is weird. So if you can recommend me a good belt, I would be happy about that. But coming to the elegant look, coats. Coats are the last station of oversize. You can take everything from us, but you cannot take large coats. It always looks more elegant, no matter what. There used to be coats I bought in a bigger size because there was not my size existent. I have one Dries Van Noten coat and was the best. I think there I figured out it's amazing. The only downside is usually that the arms are too long, and if it's like this, it kind of doesn't look elegant anymore. You feel like a bit like you're a fish or you're like a kid wearing something. Honestly, I just turn them over usually. Or because sometimes it can just destroy the coat if you get it tailored, because it's like important for the style or the form of the coat to keep it. But they're amazing. I mean, I did a coat video where I showed several options. By the way, I know that the coats were not super cheap, all of them, even though I tried to find only coats on sale. This is a little disclaimer, has nothing to do with the video, but I would like to give you more options and also cheaper ones overall. I just need to investigate a bit more outside of Essence, and there are a lot of Japanese websites that I know, for example, that ship worldwide, or you can trick a little, that I can also show you, but I don't want to spam all my videos with like shop this, shop that stuff. So my question is, would you be interested in if I would have something like a landing page and I put my recommendations there? Because I like to use my YouTube channel more like for a bit more deeper topics. Of course, I would also do like some like videos like this. These are products that I would recommend, but I just don't want to do like 3 videos per month where it's like wish list, shorts, pants, coats. But this I could definitely do like in a written form. So if you would like that, let me know in the comments what you think about it. I think it would be like a cute way to help some of you out without putting too much on YouTube and just talking about products like, look please, it's so beautiful, you should buy it. Yeah, let me know. So the elegant look is a bit more the subtle and reduced form of oversized clothing. You don't go as extreme as in the avant-garde look with the forms. You don't have this cubist round versus squared versus extreme shapes contrast. You don't like that much the contrast. You want it to look more flowy. It should all look a bit more elegant, like a single flow. It should look like it's you're coming out of a bathtub and you already have your coat on. So that's how natural it's supposed to look. So you go very minimal on your oversized sweater. You have these oversized pants and you wear an oversized coat over it. And it will not look ridiculous. Like, it will absolutely make sense. So these are actually the 3 main forms that you should try to maybe categorize yourself in, and then it's very easy to find the correct pieces. And there are actually just 2 main mistakes that you can make, which is the wrong pant length. That's the problem you will have, because the pant will most certainly be too long. You will have to get it tailored. There's nothing worse than pants that are just like ridiculously too long without having a stylistic purpose, because it destroys very easily the look you want to create. It doesn't look, if you want to look sophisticated, it absolutely does not look sophisticated. But if you even want to create a bit more an avant-garde interesting look, it's usually very sharp. So avant-garde looks are sometimes even more painful to create, because it's that you really have like very sharp silhouettes and very certain forms that need to perfectly fit. So I think it's a bit more bearable when you do the Y2K look, because yeah, they're easygoing, they're teens. They're teens and they are very chill about everything. And the arm length. So be careful with the arm length and the pant length, and then you're actually saved. And there's just like, it's so easy to create it without looking ridiculous, and you still reflect your personality. Like, of course, like these are like 3 main versions, but you yourself reflect your personality the way you want to. And you can even do like oversized sweater and oversized pants. I just didn't talk about it because this is something for the people that really love oversized dressing. And there you can play also amazing with contrast. You know, you wear a shoe that is like super tiny, thin, if you have these super bulky looks, and it looks so fun and fashion and cool. I love it. I love it. I do it sometimes. It's funny. But some people, you need to be okay that people don't get it. So that's all about oversized clothing, and where I see a lot of people on the streets that either don't dare to do it, I guess, or they just do it in a very wrong way. And then I feel like, yeah, that's why nobody likes oversized dressing, because you can kill everything, all the proportions. So it is a question of proportion, I think, even more than when it comes to tight clothing, because tight clothing and skinny dressing is mainly... Anyway, I hope you liked this video. Let me know if I can help anybody out, if there are certain questions. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you haven't done that yet. I have a Discord chat where we talk about deep fashion topics, personal fashion topics. It's amazing. I will have the links down below, my Instagram and TikTok. Yes, no judgment, please. Also down below, don't forget to subscribe here as well if you're interested. And see you to the next one. The year is almost over and I'm getting slightly depressed.